Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to the School of Personal Finance. In this video, we're going to talk about 3 of the ways that credit cards really can stick it to you that you might not be aware of. So this is now the 4th video in the mini debt series that I'm putting together. So if you haven't watched the first 3, go over and check those out after you watch this one. All right, let's get started. So the first way that credit card companies can really stick it to you that you might not fully understand how it works is with the grace period. So if you pay your credit card balance off in its entirety each and every billing cycle, then you will not pay any interest. So if you have a fresh new credit card, you use it and you buy $2,000 worth of stuff, you get your bill, you pay the entire balance off by the due date, you will owe no interest. This is the way credit cards are supposed to be used. Where they get you is if you do carry a balance. Let's say in that example, you didn't pay the whole thing off. Let's say that you paid $1,900 of your $2,000 monthly bill. So you carried $100 over to the next billing cycle. By doing this, you just put yourself in a really crappy situation because now, going forward, there's no grace period on your purchases. The interest is going to start accumulating the day you make the purchase. So if you now decide that you need to buy a new TV that costs $1,200, the day that you charge it, you are going to start paying interest on that television on the $1,200 amount, plus the $100 that you carried over from the previous month. So you no longer get that grace period where there's no interest being charged as long as you pay the balance at the end of the month. So it's very important to understand this. And what I always recommend, if you are carrying a balance on any credit card, you need to stop using that card immediately, because every time you purchase something, you start paying interest on it from day one. So that is how the interest could really start snowballing, and it just could get out of control very quickly. So if you carry a balance, get rid of that card. Put it in your sock drawer until you've paid it off in full. If you still need to use credit cards, use a different one that doesn't have any type of balance. If all of your credit cards, you're carrying balances on them, that's a much bigger problem. But if you have a credit card that does not have any balance on it, use that one instead of the one that you're currently carrying a balance. The second way that they could really get you is by having multiple interest rates on the credit card. So a simple example, let's say you do a balance transfer to a new card that's offering 0% for 12 months, and you transfer $10,000 onto the card. That $10,000, you'll have that 0% promo rate. But now let's say that you use the card as well. So you're making purchases, you're going grocery shopping, you're buying things, and you charge $2,000 this month on the card. That $2,000 is going to be subject to the APR, whatever interest rate that they charge for purchases on that card. Let's say that it's 19%. And then let's also say that you use one of those nice checks that they send you in the mail for buying, whatever the hell you want to buy with it. So you use a check, and that's considered a cash advance. So for the check, the interest rate is 24%. So now you have 3 different balances at 3 different interest rates. You have 0%, you have 19%, and you have 24%. So now when you make your minimum payment to that credit card, where do you think they're going to apply that minimum payment? Odds are that they're going to apply it to the amount that you're not paying any interest on. That 0%, $10,000 that you did the balance transfer on. So if your minimum payment is $150, that $150 is going to reduce the amount that you're not paying any interest on. Now, after the Credit Card Act of 2009, they are required to apply any payments that you make above the minimum payment towards the highest interest rate balance that you have. So at least if you're paying more than the minimum payment, it will go towards the that 24% interest rate. But if you continue to just make the minimum payment month in and month out, all you're doing is paying down the $10,000 that you don't pay any interest on, and the other balances are accumulating at those very high interest rates. So another piece of advice that I always give people, if they are going to transfer money over to get a 0% promo rate, don't use the card after that. Just transfer the balance over, get that 0% introductory rate, make your monthly payments month after month, but do not use the card for anything else. No additional purchases. Don't ever use those stupid checks that they, send you like 4 days a week. So no purchases, no checks, don't use the card anymore. Pay it down as quickly as you can to avoid paying interest on it. And then the third way that they get you is with intro rates and deferred interest. So it's very important to understand the difference between a promo rate and deferred interest. And a lot of these cards handle it differently, so you have to understand exactly what you're getting yourself into. But a perfect example of deferred interest is when you go to Best Buy and you decide, you know what, I need a new surround sound system, I need a new TV, I need to hook this place up so that it's awesome. And in Best Buy, they're like, oh, we have this great promotion where you don't pay any interest for 18 months. You could go ahead and put the entire amount on this beautiful Best Buy credit card and pay no interest for 18 months. How does that sound? And you're like, wow, that sounds pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and do it. So during those 18 months, you're making your minimum payments, you're throwing a little bit more money at it, you're trying to pay the whole thing down, you get your bill every month, you pay it, a little bit extra, you're doing great. And then we get to the end of the 18 months and you haven't paid the entire balance off in full. You still owe money. You've made the minimum required payment every month, but you haven't paid the entire amount off. At the end of those 18 months, what they're going to go ahead and do is they're going to go back and charge you all of the deferred interest that has accumulated during that 18-month period, because that was part of the agreement. If you did not pay the entire balance off in full by the end of that 18-month period, they're going to charge you all of the deferred interest during that time. This could end up being thousands of dollars, depending on how much money you initially charged. So this is crazy, and it's a way that they really get you, and people don't understand it. They don't know about it. So be very aware of these deferred interest promo rates that are notorious in these big box type stores, where you could purchase things that you can't afford, make small payments, and then get whacked at the end with this deferred interest charge because you haven't paid the balance off in full by the end of the promo rate. All right, hopefully you found that helpful. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, go over, check out schoolofpersonalfinance.com, join my email list, hit me up on Instagram and on LinkedIn as well, and I will see you again soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.